Hi everyone and welcome to this video. I was thinking about whether to put this out or not, but I decided that it would be kind of interesting hopefully for you to see what happened the other day when I went to get my running analysed and assessed. This came about after seeing the physio for a few weeks, and she recommended that I go and see one of her colleagues who analyses running through the use of multi-cameras around a treadmill. I'd actually seen the same practitioner back in 2019 when I had an issue with my knee, and that was ahead of my first ultra. So obviously he had my notes, but I'd say he remembered me. He had my notes, and we had a little chat about that, and then I hopped on a treadmill and I ran. We chatted, I ran some more, we looked at the results, we looked at the data. He taught me through it in obviously a very professional in-depth manner. I will try my very best to remember what he said and the ins and outs of the results, but it won't be verbatim, and I'll leave a link down below to the centre that I went to, the clinic rather. It may be interesting for you to go there as well. Obviously, let me know if you do go there, let me know if you have been there or experienced something similar, and here are the results. Okay, first up is the elastic exchange. You'll see from the pop-up there exactly what that means, but it's all to do with the efficiency of the elastic energy within muscles and tendons. I've been given a score within the parameter of good, certainly at the higher end, 33.8%. Obviously, we always strive for excellence, but I was quite pleased to see that particular percentage score come out as a result of the work I'd done. And my economy, you'll see this familiar picture, often used on electrical appliances, but I come out as a B. And you'll see the different parameters as to how you get to A and beyond that, which I believe is accessed mainly by elite athletes rather than kind of the amateur run-of-the-mill day-to-day runner like myself, focusing more on ultra work rather than speed work. So the first two things that came out of the results. Following that, started to look at the strike patterns, midfoot runner, neutral runner, cadence that falls within the green range there, contact time, not as swift as I could, and my forward lean there may be a result of that, and the overstride again within the similar parameters. So I was pleased to see all of those things coming in and around where you would expect them to be for the type of running that I do. Okay, next up we've got some of the kind of geeky stats in terms of braking falls, vertical displacement. Not going to talk too much about that. You can see there that we have the green range is where you would ideally like to be. Don't forget, of course, this is running on a treadmill and it's running pretty much cold. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, so there are certain things that may impact on any of these results that you see here today. However, this is where I sit, and it's a pretty decent measure of the kind of runner I am and how I look to those cameras who are measuring me. So it is what it is. There's the geeky information there. Quite intrigued to see this part here, partly because I want to make sure that actually, am I running kind of straight down the line? Am I leaning too far to one side or to the other? And you can see here that generally speaking my alignment seems to be pretty much where you'd want it to be. I'm sitting very much in that neutral range. The dotted line down the middle shows the positioning of my legs on the treadmill at the time, and it was confirmed by the practitioner as well that he couldn't see anything that was promoting a lean to the left, necessarily a lean to the right, or anything that would mean I'm crossing over my legs, and therefore that should put me in a better position moving forward to now tweak some of the other areas rather than having to worry too much about my stance or too much about my running style. I was really interested to see this part because what it does show is the amount of load that is placed on the right and the left hand side. So what you can see here, we have a favourable left side at 54.3 versus the 45.7 over on the right. Now we spoke about this. I originally said, well, I do run with a handheld, I do run with a GoPro, does it impact on it? We had a kind of thought process about whether the right is actually weaker and therefore I place more of the dominance over the left, or in fact is the right stronger and I compensate, I push more to the left to try and encourage that. Two schools of thought there, but it's likely that my right is weaker. I am actually right-handed, so maybe that dominance has some sort of indication here, but not too far adrift from what you would guess would want it to be at 50-50. Symmetry rating there, 2 stars out of 5, not entirely sure what that actually meant, I don't think we spoke about that. But overall, you can see here that generally speaking, the load is not too far adrift from a nice equal measure And when you look up the top there, 45 at 100, and that sits that kind of like medium range, which I guess is probably near enough where you'd want to be. Nothing extreme and nothing too light. So I found that really, really, really interesting. Okay, we had some results here that kind of flicked up at the end as well. This is just here for your reference. It obviously shows that out of all of the different types of runner, I come out best as being an eco sprinter, which is one of the better overall ones you'd want to aim for. I quite like the idea of being a quick stepper though. Least injured, we'd all love to be over there, wouldn't we? But I'm not entirely sure which of the different result points would need to change in order to provide different result in here. Overall though, it was really, really fascinating, really interesting. I got a lot out of it, and I came away with a couple of exercises that were strength based and kind of balance and flexibility based, just improving that left leg by doing, instead of double leg squats, single leg squats, which I always do to clean my teeth. So single leg squats, just touching the bar and standing back up again as I sit down, and just doing some different leans with a weight in front, to the left and to the right on both legs, and a few hopping drills to do just before I start my runs, forward and backwards 1 foot, side to side 1 foot.